First responders, thank you for all that you do. I'm Garrett Martin of the Alberta First Responder Mortgage Program, a program I put together myself. After spending 8.5 years in law enforcement, I got my mortgage broker's license, and now I'm a proud sponsor of the Alberta First Responder Association and doing mortgages for first responders. No matter where you are in Canada, reach out. We're talking exclusive rate discounts, cashback offers, and guidance from someone who's been in your boots. I know the demands of the job, and I know how to make homeownership easier. Whether you're buying, renewing, or refinancing, I'll compare top lenders from across Canada to save you money. So visit garrettmartinmortgages.com or text me at 403-915-1025 and let's get to work for you. Thank you for your service.
Sirens, Slammers, and Service, a podcast for female first responders by female first responders. My name is Nikki Cluche, and I will be your host. As a former correctional officer in Alberta for almost 2 decades and the founder of Blue Line Fitness Testing, which provides law enforcement fitness testing and first responder wellness workshops, I started this podcast as a way for female first responders to share the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of their daily work. I want to showcase the unique perspectives, skill sets, and personalities that women bring to a first responder career and share their stories. So get ready to laugh your ass off, learn a whole bunch, and be inspired by some pretty badass women. Let's go. You guys, I am back, and oh my God, I'm telling you, we're going across Canada with this podcast this time. Today, I am joined all the way from Campbell River by acting captain of the Campbell River Fire Department, Debra Rogers, who is also the president of the Island Ignite Mentorship Society. She's been with the fire department since 2009 and actually started as a fire dispatcher. She moved to the floor in 2017, and she just literally last weekend wrapped up the 3rd annual Fire Youth Camp through Island Ignite. So we are going to break this down. We're going to talk about it. I am so freaking pumped about this episode because Debra has a very interesting story about kind of how she moved through this stuff and got into it. And I think you guys are going to love it. But let's bring you on. Welcome, Debra. How are you today?
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Nikki. I'm happy to be here. Really, really happy to be here. Thank you.
So exciting. So we connected through LinkedIn, which has been a great kind of resource for me to find awesome, badass women across the country, which I love. And so acting captain, Campbell River Fire Department, and then the president of this Island Ignite Society, which I really want to dive into. But first I want to know, how did you come to fire? Some people come to it because they wanted, like, they saw the fire truck go by when they were a little kid and they were like, yes, that's me. Other people just magically find their way there. So how did it work out for you?
Honestly, yeah, it's more magically that I found my way here. I relocated to this area. I grew up in Victoria. I relocated to Campbell River in 2008. And I started looking for work, and I had a background in the film industry and accounting and administration. I'd gone to theater school out of high school, and I just thought, I'm just going to get a good job. And then I kind of threw in at the fire department, and it was a good union job. And my mom could rest easy because I finally had a pension. And anyway, so because I was used to sort of putting out fires in the film industry, I suppose they thought I would make a good dispatcher and multitasking. So that's when I got hired in 2009. I was new to the community and just kind of immersed myself in it. At that time, Campbell River Fire dispatched for about 50 fire departments. We now dispatch for 80. All of the North Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the Peace River region. So we're quite a large dispatch center out of our fire station. But when I first started, the first 2 years, they kept saying, this is going to be automated. Dispatch is not going to have humans doing this. You're going to be out of a work. So I spent the first 2 years on the job worrying the whole time that I'm going to lose my job. I just relocated to community. I had kids in school. So I looked at my contract with the union, and it said I could get the fire training. So I thought, you know what, there's some job security there. I'll just take the training, and who knows, I don't think anybody ever thought I would finish the training, to be perfectly honest. I thought the guys thought that was cute that I was trying. At any rate, I just kind of immersed myself into it. And then by 2013, I'd finished all the training. I had all my certs done. And then I was told, you have to stop. You can't do anything. I couldn't continue training. Once I'd finished it, they'd met their obligation. And now I had to sit and wait. So the way I was hired, it allowed me an opportunity when a space came open on the floor to be considered for that. So I kind of slotted in, and the door closed behind me because it was kind of something they'd said they'd always wanted to do. I don't think they'd ever had a dispatcher. They'd never had a dispatcher that didn't already have the training come in and do that. So the fact that I didn't have previous paid on call experience, that I hadn't gone to one of the fire schools like Texas or California or what have you, I think there was a little bit of a panic. So 2017 in March, the opportunity came, and I probably didn't know I was going to do it till maybe a couple months before, not even a few weeks before. I thought, how hard can it be? I'll be fine. And I thought, you know what? And I had enough naysayers that just my personality is such that nobody's going to tell me what I can't do and where I can't be. And so I went over to the floor, and as the first woman at 47, I was a junior firefighter on a truck in this small paid on call small composite department. So yeah, and I've been there ever since. So I became an acting captain just fairly recently, within the last year, and then and a fire investigator, which I really enjoy. So I'm getting some opportunities now to kind of, test my wings a little bit.
Oh my God. Like, it is just, when you said 47, I was like, God damn. Oh my God, this woman. Because like, honestly, lately I've had a ton of women, late 30s, early 40s, like, will they take me? Like, are they looking for a 44-year-old, old mom to be a police officer? Yes, they are. Because guess what? You have life experience. You have the ability to multitask like a motherfucker because we've raising children and families and everything else. And we just have that maturity about us that now, like, the drama llama doesn't faze us. We're not going to get involved in this silly crap that happens. We just go there, we do our job, we do it damn good, and then we go home at the end of the day. And so, yes, absolutely, it is never too late. It is never too late. And I love that you were like, you know what, I'm just going to take the training, see what happens. Okay, I got the training. Okay, hey, this is going to open up. I'm going to throw my name in. Let's do it, right? But I mean, like, sometimes that's the best opportunities. It's just like, you don't really think about it. And you're like, give it a shot and see what happens. And then, like, boom, here you are. Like, what is that? So it's 2017. So 8 years, basically 8 years later, that acting captain and now a fire investigator. Like, I bet you if you talked to yourself 8 years ago, you would never have thought that would happen. Hey, like,
I would never have done it. And I have to say that I actually come from 4 generations in the fire service, which is the kind of the ultimate irony, because my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my dad, and my brother's a battalion chief in the City of Victoria Fire. And he, all of them, my dad, when I first got hired, I hate to say it, but one of his comments was, just don't talk to the guys. They don't want to talk to you, right? Because dispatch was kind of separate. And I remember thinking, well, okay. So I kind of took it to heart for a little bit until I kind of got my footing. And I think I don't even know if they totally got that I was actually doing the same job that they'd done. Like, I genuinely think it's still a little bit surprising to them. And now I can talk shop with my dad a little bit. He's almost 80, but we can talk some shop and stuff. And it is a kind of a funny thing, but it certainly was never on my radar. And I think that's kind of is the cool thing about my story, is that you can reinvent yourself, whatever age or stage. If you see a different, if you want to write a new story, just go ahead and write it.
Yes. Right? Yes. I love that. Like, because it's true. Like, coming from a school, like, of theater and of, like, totally not anything to do with law enforcement, first responder, anything like that. Like, that, I love that. Like, just coming in totally different. And again, the naysayers and the people that are like, she's not going to do it. And then just being like, actually, I did. So take it and stuff it.
Well, and the funny thing is, I know, because you're a fitness trainer, and I know in your company and whatnot. And I think that was probably the biggest thing I kept thinking is, they're going to challenge me physically. They're going to suggest that there's just no possible way I can physically manage that, right? And so I did work really, really hard at that point. I was pretty knee deep in fitness and doing, like, I had hired personal trainers, and I was like working out 6 days a week, and I was really trying. Then I was hell bent to sort of prove it. And when I got hired, we had a certain type of fitness standard that it wasn't the UVic fitness standard, wasn't a CPAT or anything. It was an internal one. And because of the way the contract was, I only had to pass that one. I really wanted to go to UVic because I wanted to prove to them, if you're going to make me do the hardest test that you guys run for, I'll do it. I was advised not to because my union said you don't have to, and so don't. And so I didn't, but I kind of have a little regret about maybe doing that because it would have just been that nice little extra dig in the back end of it, to say,
absolutely. Yeah, I can do what you can do. And yes. Well, and also, like, again, I love hearing that you were committed and you personal training and you're doing all the things you need to do, because that's the other part of it, is that lots of people come into this totally unprepared. They don't realize how strenuous the tests are. They have no idea the level of dedication, commitment, determination that you're going to need to, put into this stuff in order to be successful, and how actually long it's going to take. Like, I get calls all the time, like, oh, I have my test in a week. Can you do some training? And I'm like, I mean, I can give you some training, but I can't say you're going to pass. That's for dang sure.
No, you're going to need probably more than that. I think I want to say I did 3 12-week kind of immersive sessions almost back to back. Pretty aggressive, I lost quite a bit of weight. I probably was underweight, honestly, because I'd been too aggressive. So then after my first structure fire, I went, okay, CrossFit, here we go.
Yeah.
Because I just had to change it. I realized you can lift heavy weights, but you need that kind of explosive strength in short bursts, right? It's, firefighting is kind of a different type of approach to fitness. Like you can run, a marathon. That's not what firefighting is, right? It's short bursts of explosive strength. And so it was a humbling, that first fire. And then I just redirected the way I trained.
That's awesome. And so so you were on the floor, until just like the last year you've been on the floor and then moved into this new kind of role?
Yeah, I'm still we still ride the truck the way that we run it. As an acting captain, I sort of the senior man on my shift. And then I get pulled out for fire investigation when it comes up. We're a really small department. We do about 5,000 calls a year. And so with the composite, we get backfill from paid on call members. And I think there's only 27 full-time members currently, 1 fire prevention officer. We have a pretty small admin team. So we're kind of do it all. We're not masters or anything. We don't have a special hazmat team. Guess what? You're hazmat today, because that's what we have today. It's that kind of a shop, right? So we just do, you do a bit of everything. We rotate driving. And so I think I went the first year not driving. And then after that, you're everything, so all level of rescue, all level of response, just because where our community is located, it's needed. We don't have a lot of mutual aid partners that are super accessible. So if a problem comes, whether it's literally a cat in a tree or, a hazmat spill, then guess who's up? You are. So.
Yeah. And so what are your shifts like?
Yeah, we're still the 4x4. So I do 2 10-hour days and 2 14-hour nights with 4 days off. We are asking for the 24-hour because that's the trend that's happening. It's again, I don't think we have enough staff to really make that situation work. And Campbell River runs 2 fire stations. We have a 4-man truck downtown, and then uptown we have like a 2-man truck that runs career staff 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. And then after that, it's sort of backfilled with page outs and paid on call. So, we're still running quite a bit, and, we're doing what everybody else is doing. A lot of first responder stuff. We're sort of doing circles between safe injection sites and sobering assessment centers. It's interesting changes in the service, and that's quite not the fire service of my dad's era, for sure. A completely different model of response. And that's why I think what I bring is cool. It's different. It's a different strength. It's a different focus. It's a different attention. And I never say soft skills because I think that's insulting. I think all these skills are hard skills. But I think at the end of the day, you need the complement of all these things. And that's the beauty of coming to any of our industries older, is you have that adaptability. My brother got on the job, I want to say he was 25, and it was almost too young. For, because now you're in the job, you're always going to be in, nobody leaves this good job. And, he never, and so he missed some opportunities for maturing. I mean, just cognitively, like what he was exposed to before his whole prefrontal cortex was developed and all those things. I just think, that's going to have taken a toll, I think. And so I feel kind of blessed in it, in that I came to it with not a lot of preconceived ideas. And, I learned how to leverage strengths. I have to learn how to leverage my own strengths, but that's helped me to find strengths in other people. And so I can lean on, I happen to, on my shift currently, I have an electrician, I have a helicopter mechanic, I have a heavy duty equipment operator. So I don't have to know a bunch of stuff because they do.
Yeah.
So what do we know? I can maybe do, maybe I have a higher level of patient care. I have a higher level of compassion. I have a better situational awareness, maybe, whatever the strengths are, we try to leverage them. And I think that's the cool thing about being a captain now, is I have those opportunities to lean into that leadership and, kind of exact some changes that I would have liked to have when I was in the junior position. Right.
Yes. Yep. I know that feeling well. Yeah. When you're just like, I need to change this. And right now I'm not in the position where I can do anything, but I'm going to get there. And when I get there, I'm going to change it. Yeah. I absolutely feel you. Absolutely. Okay. And so then on the side, you've also now created this Island Ignite Mentorship Society, founder and president in 2022, was it?
Yeah, 2022. So what had happened is I had heard about this youth academy that was happening in Vancouver called Camp Ignite. And I did some networking and outreach, and I thought, here, I can just go meet some other women who are doing this work. Like, just that alone was enough to entice me. So I reached out, and I ended up going and volunteering a few of their camps. And Camp Ignite's now been around about 15 years. And this year they had over 80 applicants, and they turned away 50 kids. So they're just so popular. And at that point they were only taking about 3 kids from Vancouver Island. And I just thought, well, that's just not enough. So I was like, well, why don't we create a regional one? That just makes a lot more sense. And because we're not the lower mainland where there's a lot of career departments, we have sort of a different sort of demographic that we're serving. And that became important because we were going to get a lot more paid on call volunteer departments to step into and girls that might have opportunities maybe more in wildland or sort of these indirect routes maybe to a career. Now, I always qualify, we're not making firefighters. That's not the goal of my camp. But anyway, when I created Island Ignite, we modeled after what Camp Ignite was doing, but we focused on our region. So we do Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the Gulf Islands. And some of that is make it cost effective for some of those kids to get there, because it's cost prohibitive where I live to get to the mainland in Vancouver. I mean, it's $1,000 weekend just to get there. The ferry's like about $200 these days, right? So I didn't want cost ever to be a barrier. So we definitely have that. That's part of our program, is the kids don't pay anything. We approach departments to sponsor them. And we have had sold out camps every year, and we've turned away a few kids, sadly. I'm hoping that there's a time when our camp can either, if we get too popular, run twice a year, or just expand the operations, because I hate to say no to a kid who says, hey, I really want to try this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, what do we need? How many more people do I need to make it happen is kind of my mindset. But I work with a board of other female firefighters, and we're 100% volunteer. So I have to be cognizant of their time. They're, have families and other obligations and jobs. So, yeah, this is our third camp. We've been really lucky. We've worked with Victoria Fire from the beginning. They were really receptive to the program. And CFB Esquimalt has been another sort of longstanding partner. And they get that federal land kind of component, and really good firefighters from all those spaces. We try to get as many career women, because the whole idea is that you can see this as an opportunity, first and foremost. Also, we can ensure that their skills are vetted when we're asking them to go into fresh departments, and we say, hey, can we use your AutoX equipment for nothing? And we're going to send this girl to go do that, right? So Associated Fire came on board this year and really supported us with our AutoX stuff as a sidebar. So we've got some corporate partners that help us out. And Langford Fire was a half-day host this year. That was the first time for them. So the more they see the program, the more they want to attach to it. And once we're in a department, what they thought the program was and then what the program is when they see it in play is completely different. And so every year we just get more and more fans and more buy-in and more support. And so, you know, we've gotten them, they want to make us lunches and they want to, you know, help out any way they can, which is super cool. Like we had 31 girls this year. And that's about average. We try to go about 32. We have really good affordable youth housing through University of Victoria. They give a really good rate to youth programming. Not that I want to share it too much because I don't want to lose my plug there, but they, you know, so the kids get that kind of university experience. We have someone on our board from Salt Spring Fire, Misha, and she does first breakdown, she does self-defense. And that's our first team building exercise. We hit the fields and we start doing fun self-defense stuff. And we spend the first day building up kind of that team. We do like an accountability system, just like you would on a fire ground. Here's your captain, your cohort lead, basically. And you guys are an engine company and a team. And you start at the camp and you end camp together. And so early on, they're really invested. And we kind of create some fun, like competition stuff so that they get more invested in one another. And then by the end of the camp on day 3, we're going into the smokehouse with charge lines on air, exacting rescues, we're forcing doors, we're throwing ladders, cutting cars. So we do build up enough through that. There's no pressure for these kids to do any of it. And it's always qualified that this is super positive. We never shame anybody. We never challenge anybody. We encourage them and we remind them that we are all here to create safe spaces for you to be successful. And so far, so good. Touch wood. We haven't had too many kids falter out. And if they're not comfortable in certain spaces, we can adapt. Like we did a rappelling. And we thought, okay, well, if you don't want to rappel down, you know what? We can do a raise. We can take you up, or we can do a pickoff, or we can do something else. So you have the experience, but you haven't had to do something hugely uncomfortable, right? So we will modify if we need to. And half the girls don't ever want to be firefighters. That's not the goal, right? They just want the experience to try something hard in a safe space. Mm-hmm. And so we also bring in the regional district's hazmat team. They come and have a hazmat truck. They get to go through that and talk about what that looks like as a job. We have a BC ambulance comes out, and so they talk about being a paramedic and what does that job look like, and go through the rig. And in some cases, we've had Victoria Police Department come out and they bring out a unit and talk. And so we have soft skills like CPR type, kind of like, so low grade, so they're not always hot because it's a summer weekend and it was really hot this weekend. I'm super sunburned, as you can see. And at any rate, so we kind of have at least a cooling station. So we did do fire prevention as well. Again, there's lots of opportunities in the fire service that you can look at that aren't frontline firefighting. And so we can talk about all those things so that they kind of know that there are more opportunities than just, it's not, it's not as limiting as it used to be, maybe. Yeah.
And that's something I try with this podcast too, is to and it kind of evolved from the beginning of even me just learning, holy crap, I didn't even know that facet existed within that agency. I didn't know that was even a job or a unit or an opportunity that you could take. And yes, think I just did a podcast yesterday. I recorded with another group of people, and RCMP, you think, okay, gravel road cops, small town country cops. Well, no, the person I was interviewing was a counter surveillance terrorism unit, and I was like, who thought that? I never would have thought that. That was fucking crazy, right? I love that you're saying too that the girls are feeling like they can try something hard in a safe environment. To me, again, because I coach young women, that's my jam as kind of on my volunteer side of things and sports side of things. And I love to hear that more young women are looking to try things and expand out, because I feel like COVID kind of screwed us a little bit in that everybody kind of sheltered in, and that desire to try something new, everyone kind of went, I'm just going to do kind of the things I know how to do, right? And so it's great that it's now coming back no, I know that I don't want to be a firefighter, but I sure do want to try and shoot that fire hose, and I sure do want to rappel off the side of that building, and definitely I want to use the life on that vehicle. So let me try that out, right? To me, again, I think it's amazing, and that they put themselves out there. but that they're in a safe environment and they have those friends when they leave. Like, you meet people then who you are like, I never would have been friends with that girl before. I never would have even talked to that girl before. We did this experience together, and now here we are, and we're friends, and we can go. And even if they're, in different geographical areas with cell phones and social media and stuff nowadays, they can stay connected and they can stay in contact with other girls who are brave and courageous and trying new things. So that I just love that. I think it's phenomenal that you guys are doing that. So
Really cool.
do they come? I think you said Friday morning. So is it like all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, we initially started later on a Friday and it was too late. So we now have them coming at 10 a.m. on Friday, and we hit the ground running for a few hours of team building, and we kind of get them to name their team and kind of figure out what's their collective vibe. So we set up some programs where like start to find the commonalities, who knows what, who owns pets. Okay. Who's that? Who has blue eyes? Okay. Like whatever it is, like just simple things to kind of forge connection. And then that second half of the day, we go to a fire department, and at Langford Fire was awesome. They created, we did more like fire fit type stuff. We did some dummy drags, and then we did kind of a relay game, and they also set up like a scavenger hunt. And so we had them put like puzzles together with their structural gloves on, right? Just to challenge them. Little fun things that were just kind of like low consequence stuff, because you can't start a camp like that and have them have a failure point, because then they don't recover, right? So we want everything to be like success. And with the relay, Jenny Reed, who's our secretary treasurer and a Langford firefighter, she was good about it, because she sort of said, look, in the relay, find the person that's really good, that's their jam, and let them do that. And then, and so everybody can do the thing that they feel quite confident at, right? And again, that's building on that, just that building of the confidence. And then, like you say, by the next day, now they were at some point doing like interpretive dance kind of things, trying to compel us to allow them to have this massive slumber party. And we're like, no, we tried to say, no, it's like the airplane. You've got seat assignments. You got to stay in your rooms. That's the way it is. Right. Because we're like, you guys will regret it in the morning, because we are putting you through paces. We hit the fire ground about 8 a.m. and they're going till day 2. We go to Victoria Fire, and Victoria Fire is, again, another incredible host. They vacate their number 3 station on Bay Street in Victoria, basically put a skeleton crew there of medic truck, and they give us the run of the place. And that's where we do rappelling, we do supply lines, we do a confined space kind of entanglement, SCBA, CPR. We did rescue drags there. And then at the end of it, we bus the kids over to their headquarters, and we do a crew dinner. So my mom made us pasta this year. She made pasta for 55 people and fed us all. So she made the bag lunches for that and dinner for us. And so we go and sit at their brand new station downtown Victoria, and we kind of, they can just check out tour. They have an electric fire truck there, so they get to kind of look at that and, just kind of see what different stations are. And then we finish the night with yoga, just to bring it down a little, take it down a notch. Regulate the responder is someone we've aligned with a little bit. And so they come in and sponsor some kids and help kids. And she's designed like a yoga series that is really specific to first responders and things that help really regulate your system. So that was cool. And and then day 3, we same thing, start the day at 8 in the morning, really early, finish by 4:30. We do a quick awards ceremony, and then we douse them with water, and we send them off with their parents. So it's so fun. But the other thing I really want to emphasize in my program, and I tried to say it when I'm at these events, but is that it's top down, development and confidence building. So even the paid on call people who volunteer, or the career firefighters who volunteer, we try to put everybody into places where you're not comfortable, because a woman in this work is not often called upon to be a trainer in their departments. They're not often asked even to lead low grade training, like, hey, can you run this tabletop, or can you whatever? So we create these openings where we ask you to come in and train, and 9 out of 10 times we've even had 20-year firefighters say, well, I don't teach. That's not what I do. I'm not certified to do that. And I'm like, these kids are not being made to be firefighters. You do the skill in the job. You can show somebody that skill in this space. And that builds their confidence. We get the cohort leads to sort of take ownership of this team and to lead them. And then at the end, their team leader gives them their certificate because their team leader has invested in their development. Like, the sad thing is, I'm kind of like the school principal that comes around and just checks on everybody. I don't actually get the good engagement much anymore. But it is top down. So they have to do some public speaking. They have to do a little bit of like just pushing, again, everybody a little bit past their comfort zone. And then we all walk away. Like, even the leaders and the mentors that we call them that come in and support us, often sometimes on their own dime and their own time, we're really trying to get to the place where fire departments and unions and associations fund, back, support, help these girls to come and volunteer, because that's an investment too, right?
Yeah. I that's phenomenal, because I didn't even think about that, and the development, and even for them to meet other female firefighters that they would not have if they didn't go to this camp or have this opportunity. And then exactly to put themselves into a position where you might be uncomfortable and you have to learn a new thing and you have to learn how to teach, or you have to, like whatever the thing is that you're doing, well, you better know it real good, because now you got to show it to somebody else. So yes, you can do the skill, but can you do it real good?
Well, that's right. And they'll tell us, oh man, they're watching all the videos, going through the forcible entry techniques and making sure that and I thought, that's good. That's a good skill to practice. Like, write a lesson plan if it helps you feel better about it. Like, whatever you need to do to come ready. I mean, and every year we adapt. Like, you're talking the COVID years. And I think last year we did have those COVID kids kind of coming through, and you did see a lot more social anxiety. We did see a lot more hesitancy. And I thought, it's just an interesting observation that we kind of made the connection after the fact and go, oh, right. They miss that developmental piece. Right. And, I think there's such value in bringing these people together, and all of them get something. Like, we all walk away with something. We all walk away better for it, for sure. So I would recommend, if anybody has a chance to volunteer, whatever the thing is, if there's an opening, go take it, because you do. And honestly, I always say I'm more excited about the future, because it's very easy if you're just reading sort of certain forums that, we're going to hell in a handbasket and we're not going, nobody's doing, these kids are not entitled. These kids are showing up, they're ready to work. And a lot of them are already playing high level sports. A lot of them are playing, are working jobs and that kind of thing. So we give them the permission at the beginning of camp, and we have a spiel and we introduce everybody. And I always say, I know in your real life, you've got big responsibilities and you're doing jobs and all these things, and you're looking at your future. But this weekend, you're a kid in my care, which means you get just to be a kid here. And you know what? So just enjoy that opportunity to just be a kid here, where things are handled for you, meals are provided, like it's all here for you, right? And we've got all these people showing up to make this an amazing experience. Like, we probably have as many volunteers to help make camp possible as we have kids coming. And that's not even including the support staff at the halls that pull out the engines and ready the equipment and back us. It really is humbling, right?
Yes. And but what a great, again, community builder for the fire community across the board, that you're doing this and that you brought this over. It's awesome. And I remember I played with the Canadian Classics for rugby a couple summers ago. And that was the thing they said, we're all moms, all coaches, all presidents of our club, all club leaders, our whole lives we're giving back to the rugby community. And our coaches in the first same thing round table said, we want you just to be players again. We want you just to enjoy being here and being a player. You don't have to coach a session. You don't have to figure out what hotel room we're staying at. You don't have to organize a meal. You just show up. Here's the itinerary. Be on time. Can you do that? Here's the itinerary, and show up and wear the right appropriate clothing that we're supposed to wear that day. And that's all you have. And I just remember sitting back and being like, Oh my God. Like, this is fun again. It's fun again when you're not fully immersed in all of the organization and the logistics of it. And it was amazing. It was an amazing, same thing, amazing experience. A bunch of women doing what they do best, which is connecting and networking and supporting each other and motivating each other. And so, yeah, I think I love it.
Yeah.
For our listeners, most of them are from kind of the Alberta area. We have Camp Inspire here. Is coming up in September. Edmonton Fire is usually the lead on this, but I know that Strathcona Fire has jumped on board now. I know that Sturgeon County Fire is on board. Spruce Grove is on board. So there will be information coming out about that for anybody that's in our area that's interested in it. And again, what a fantastic opportunity. What a fantastic opportunity to
So good.
see if you can do it, right? See if you can do it. See what limits you can push for yourself, how you can challenge yourself. Yeah. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and we know women need that safe space. We know it, like young girls and women in general, because we know that a lot of women won't step into things until I can't, because I don't know enough. I need it to be 100% before I can try. And guess what? Men go in and if they got it 60% down, they're like, I got this. No worries. They don't hesitate. And so I always get called out at least once during this period of time, like, why aren't boys included? And why isn't there that for them? And I always have to qualify that we are creating safe spaces for young women to push limits. And if you want to start a program for boys because you think they need that, I wish you well, and I'll give you a template to make it happen. Like, I'm not saying that boys don't need it. I'm just saying that I've identified as a young woman who grew up in a fire family, was never told this was an opportunity for me. Not one time was it suggested that I could consider it even, you know? So that's kind of what my hope is that if you walk away with just one new skill or one new friend, I've done my job, right?
Yep. Yes. That's amazing. Okay. I want to come back to your kind of career now, a little bit more on you. Because again, you are an inspiring woman. Like, I'm loving this conversation. I'm loving this call. But so tell me what were some challenges for you? Like, coming in, we kind of touched a little bit, like nobody thought you could do it, but like, was there something along the way that kind of surprised you where you were like, whew, like that was a little harder than I thought it would be, or like, oh, maybe I did bite off a little bit more than I could chew. And then what was something you were like, I'm super successful at this. Like, damn, I'm actually really good at this.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever say I'm really, really, really good at something, but I have to say that when I first came in, I was lucky. I had a really solid captain. He was really well respected in our ranks, and I think he was pretty gracious with me. And when I left his shift, I thanked him because I knew he kind of took on something that a lot of guys probably didn't have the gumption to do, and he helped me be successful in many spaces. Many calls. He helped guide me, and I'm grateful to Captain John Baker for that. At first, again, I doubted everything. I thought, who the hell do I think I am? What am I doing here? And of course, as the first woman, they had to renovate dorms. They weren't prepared to receive a woman. So right out of the gate, I get hired, and the city says, well, there's no way we're having co-ed dorms. So renovation ensues. So now I'm already getting all these special accommodations. And of course, as most women who start, I just want to assimilate. They got the blinders on. Don't talk to me. I just want to assimilate. I don't want to be singled out. They'd ask me, oh, would you like to be featured? And I was like, no. I just got to get through this. I kind of regret it in some ways because I feel like I realize it should be celebrated. You shouldn't be afraid to be the first woman and show up and say, yeah, you know what? And it's ridiculous that it's taken this long. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. So that was kind of a challenge. I had a lot of people that didn't feel that I'd earned the right. And in some ways myself, I felt bad because I was like, this was never a lifelong dream. I work alongside guys that always wanted this. Mm-hmm. And I see people at different recruitment things and different events that I attend now that wanted this so bad. And it took them and I thought, I don't say it came easily because that wouldn't be right. But it just sort of came to me. Mm-hmm. This has been an opportunity. But my logic is with everything is that as long as wherever you land, you leave it better than you found it, then that's the important thing. And so kind of that's how I just kind of keep approaching it. I'm using every opportunity to just kind of learn and grow and try to maybe show up as, as a leader in the organization. And I don't hesitate to call out bullshit, as, I've heard you many times say. If I see something that I think needs to be called out, I'm happy to do it, because I think we've got a lot of sort of silent, complacency here, right? A lot of people kind of just allowing bad behavior to go unchecked. And I just think that's where our biggest fall down is in the fire service in general, is, you know what, we really need to hold each other to task a bit. But yeah, and as far as what I thought I couldn't do, I mean, I would say the first structure fire for sure was humbling. It was like a fully involved house with a family. We had a fatality. It was a big deal. And I remember thinking, what I had to, handball the hydrant line uphill. And I thought, what if I don't get water? Like, what if I don't get the water? And I remember thinking, this is crazy. I'm in my gear and I'm thinking, I've never done anything this difficult. Just crazy. Thought, couldn't have just started with the shed, hey? 6 a.m. structure, fully involved structure, and at any rate, and I remember bystanders, it's right at morning commute, and people like, can I help you? And I'm just like, stand back, like I've got a process here. So I remember thinking, holy smokes, I probably was too vocal about my own hesitation. And I probably overshared. That's probably my biggest shortfall, is just telling people, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any business being here. Like, I'm just winging it. Are you winging it? Are we all winging it? But I realize ultimately these are skills that anybody can learn. You can learn these skills. Like, can you take direction? Can you work long hours in uncomfortable positions, and not be a jerk about it at the end of the day? And you know what? Do you want to show up and do you want to work together with some people and get some stuff done? I mean, there's definitely a beautiful thing about a fire is there's always an end to it. It starts big and you finish strong, and you're like, hey man, if you put it out, you did well, you did good. That's a win, right?
Yep.
So, and you didn't lose more houses in the process. So, it actually is easy to be sort of successful when you kind of just commit to doing the work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know. I did say I underestimated how much truck knowledge was required and how much mechanical stuff. Like, I realized I was not socialized to those types of skills, like identifying tools, knowing how to troubleshoot a tool. All those things have not come as readily to me as they might have. Like, my dad was never going to hand me the chainsaw and say, go cut firewood.
Yeah.
Right. So, he was going to say, make sandwiches, and when we're done, you come back. So kind of thing. So, and I didn't even think my dad was that traditional, but it turns out I had a pretty traditional upbringing from that perspective. So, when girls come to me now from our program and ask, well, if I want this, what do I want to do? I think a trade is a good foundation. I think understanding building construction, understanding any kind of mechanical, advantage is going to be great, right? Whether you understand electrical or what have you. And I tell them, like, don't rush into it. There's lots of skills that you need to do this, and you need to be adaptable, and you need to be resourceful, and you need to be, aware. And all those things can be cultivated, through different types of work, right?
Yeah, I think it's true, like you said, because my dad was very mechanical, and so we would do things in the garage, and that's how I knew like my mechanical knowledge. But I also took mechanics in high school because I said to myself, this is a skill that I can see coming in handy at some point in my life. And my husband is very mechanical, and so anytime he's doing something in the garage, I've got 3 daughters, and I'm like, out you go see what dad's doing. It drives him nuts because then he has to show them everything. But I was like, you need to know this shit. Like, there's not always going to be a man around to tell you what this is or do what this is. I mean, again, we're in a better era where like you can kind of YouTube some shit, figure it out, which has come in very handy for me. But like, also general basic tool knowledge is something that we should know. Like that is a life skill that everybody should know. So yeah,
exactly. Exactly. I think my single mom years cultivated a little bit more than I helped.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to wrap up with some rapid fire questions because I love these. They're some of my favorites, and I think you're going to have some great ones. So, the number one that I always ask is, what is your favorite food or snack when you are on shift?
I'm ashamed to say it. We work across from a Dairy Queen, and we have a thing in my hall where if you get your picture in the paper, or if you ding a truck, or really just anything, any misstep results in Dairy Queen. So we do more runs to Dairy Queen than we probably reasonably should. So I would say a Smartie Blizzard is probably my go-to.
Yes, that's awesome. Being across from a Dairy Queen, I would die. I'd be like, oh, what time is it? Is it blizzard time? It's blizzard time.
It's horrible. It's horrible. We could probably have a zip line and it would get used daily. It's horrible. But anyway, that is my guilty pleasure.
It's good. It's good. They're delicious. Dairy Queen Blizzards are delicious. Yes. Okay. I love that. All right. You get to use a bunch of different equipment. So what is your favorite piece of equipment that you get to use?
Oh, we have this is silly, but we have a Lucas machine which does perfect CPR. So it's a mechanical thing that we can hook around a patient and we put a suction on it and it does perfect CPR. And what that does, it frees you out to do all the other important patient care stuff. And so when we're transporting a patient or if we're wanting to mat them or anything else, that can stay strapped to them and it goes with them right to the hospital and we stay with it. And it is a game changer when you are in a medical circumstance. And we had a chief that had a grant to get us it. It's about a $15,000 piece of equipment, but it's total game changer for medical calls.
That is so, I've never heard of that. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's the Lucas and we love it.
I wonder if any of our paramedics have it. I have to ask my paramedic friend if they have one because
they want one. They want one because you know what, like once you start CPR and then because you can't continue and it frees up your hands to do all the other stuff because they're just, nowadays there just isn't enough bodies. There isn't enough time. And so that helps. I mean, and it's the thing we use sort of regularly. Like it's one of those things that gets most used. Like you can say, auto extrication tools, but I'm going to be honest, as a woman, when you get to cut into cars, guess who's not called upon first? You may as well, you're all racing to the tools, right? So you're like, here, can you hold C-spine? So I do a lot of C-spine.
Yeah. You're like, okay, great. I'll just sit over here. No problem. No problem. Okay. So what, how do you continue to learn in order to stay on top of things within your role?
Yeah, honestly, I am doing a few things. I have been working towards, and I will be finished by the end of the year, my Fire Officer 4. So Fire Officer has 4 levels. I've elected to self-fund it, which is always a little bit frowned upon by your union and sometimes even your department. But if I was to wait till the budget allowed, I would never get there. And so I really think it's important. Because we're sort of so busy running calls, we actually don't do a lot of in-house training and certainly not to the scope where we should, right? And we're not blocking out time to do sort of complex evolutions. So I have just elected to kind of do that. So I did my fire prevention officer certification, which I just completed recently, and I'm finished my Fire Officer 3 this year. So Fire Officer 4 will happen at the end of the year. And simultaneously, I'm taking a nonprofit management certificate so that I can make sure that I'm running my not-for-profit society effectively, got all the good governance in place, and we're ticking all the right boxes. Because if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. And then I have some other little tools in my trade, and then I work with there's a company called Effective Command Canada, and they do sort of command training because that's probably my weakness at this point because I haven't had just coming now to having to do scene size ups and making sure that I'm, making the right calls. And so I've been doing that, and that's like an online platform, which is great because it's video-based scenarios that allows you to practice your command presence and whatnot. So just kind of little bits here and there as much as I can, mostly remotely, because I live in a smaller community away from lots of things.
But again, it's awesome that you're still you're not using that as oh, well, it's too expensive to go, or oh, it's too far for you. You're still doing what you can from where you're at, which I think is a phenomenal thing. That's awesome.
You gotta do it.
Okay, the last one I have for you is, what is the funniest thing that's happened to you in the last year?
Oh, in the last year? Oh my gosh. I don't
You
know
can
about,
go you can go further back if you need to.
oh, I don't know. I don't know about funny. Gosh. I, honestly, I don't even think I can think of one. I don't even
No.
know. I mean, maybe it was funny that the guy called me this week, just yesterday, and told me how unfair it is that there's a woman's camp, and I asked him how old he was, and he said I'm 58. I said, well, interestingly enough, I'll be 57 this summer, and guess what? It wasn't available to me either when I was a kid, and I just said I'm really sorry that you didn't have these opportunities. Like my instinct was to say, do you know what men have? Every other opportunity,
Yep.
right? Honestly, I mean, not to be a total, basher, but like, I was just like, seriously, dude, like, yeah, you have to laugh. It's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous that I'm apologizing for accessible youth programming. I'm like, dude, like, what do you want from me? So maybe that's funny to some. It's certainly humorous to me. I used to be a little bit more serious about it, but now I know this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's crazy. So the podcast that I was recording yesterday, same thing. It's women in policing, an organization, and male police officers ask all the time, well, where's our male in policing organization? And she's like, I'm sorry, like, are you kidding me? The boys club? Like, is that what we're talking about? Is that like, or exactly like you said, by all means, start your own men in policing organization. Like, go ahead. Oh, but wait, you don't have a woman to organize it for you, so that's why it's not getting done. Oh, snap, 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 snap.
Oh, I remember too, a funny thing happened. I'm trying to think of another funny thing is that I got stopped, right, for like some driving infraction or whatever. And the guy says to me, well, what do you do for a living? And I'm thinking, is this a thing cops ask? And I'm thinking, so I said, well, yeah, I'm a firefighter. And he says, in what capacity? I'm like in the full-time working capacity, like, is there other capacities? Like, and I thought, oh, what are you doing, dude? Like, yeah, just take it at face value. And anyway, because he caught himself being like awkward, he gave me the professional courtesy. No, that's
you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm going to take the win right now because that was an ass statement.
I love that. I love that. That is awesome. Well, Debra, we have had some amazing chats today. I'm so happy you reached out. I'm so happy we got to have a conversation. What you're doing with this youth camp is amazing, and like, keep doing it. And I'm like trying to think of all the people I know on the island. I'm like, who can help out? Who can volunteer? Can I come? I'll come and volunteer. Like, my best friend lives in Victoria. Maybe I'll just like make it a girls trip and be like, hey, guess what? We're going to go volunteer at this camp.
You 100% should, because honestly, we had a person reach out to us, and her name is Lindsay Bourne. She's a New York playwright. She teaches at NYU. She's a Canadian playwright working in New York. And she said to me, she writes these sort of documentary plays. And she said, I know this sounds dumb. Can I come check out your camp? So I said, oh, for sure. Come on. So she came, this is the second year. And she was just like, she's working on a play about a female wildland firefighter. She's been accepted. She's got to write it now. But I thought, again, when I said to my team, hey, this playwright wants to come to camp, and they're looking at me like, I'm like, how do you say no to somebody who's like, I love what you're doing. And I want to check it out, and I want to be part of it. And you know what? Yep. Yeah, hell yeah, come on over. If you're going to back me and you think this is neat and you've got a voice and you can spread the word, please.
100%.
So
100%.
No good excuses, Nikki. I expect you next July to find your way to Victoria.
Buddy, I like 100%. I'm putting it in the calendar. Like, I'm legit. I'm like, I'm going to Victoria. Guess what? Anna?
Normally the second week of July, we try to dodge Pride Parade. We don't want to disrupt Pride activities, but yeah, come on through. We'd love to have you.
I love this. I love it. I'm putting it in my diary right now. Second week of July, XXX, going to Victoria.
Yeah, and there are worse places to be in the summer. I tell you, Victoria's beautiful. If you've never been, it's definitely worth the jaunt.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous there. Well, like I said, it's been a treat. Thank you for sharing your information, your knowledge, your wisdom, all of the amazing things you do. Keep up the great work. You're phenomenal. And I loved having you as a guest. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, listening, giving me your time, your energy, and your attention. I completely appreciate it. Make sure you check out our next episode with another badass female first responder anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at bluelinefitnesstesting.com. I hope you stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and watch your six. Blue Line Fitness Testing is a premier law enforcement fitness testing and training center based in Edmonton. Specializing in helping individuals prepare for the physical demands of a career in law enforcement, we offer comprehensive fitness evaluations, specialized training programs, and classes tailored to meet the unique needs of our clients. Our facility hosts a range of classes and are committed to fostering a supportive and empowering environment where clients can achieve their fitness goals. Our team includes experienced trainers who bring specialized expertise in law enforcement, self-defense, personal training, and rehabilitation. We engage through our community through challenges, events, and our podcast, and we are dedicated to helping individuals succeed in their fitness journeys and career aspirations in law enforcement. Are you looking to get started with your career? Come see Blue Line Fitness Testing, and we'll get you there.